Could too much salt be affecting your mood? New research explores the link between sodium, inflammation, and depression. Introduction. Salt is a staple in nearly every kitchen around the world. From enhancing flavor to preserving food, sodium is deeply woven into human culinary tradition. Yet, despite its long-standing presence, scientists are only beginning to understand the full implications of salt consumption beyond blood pressure and cardiovascular health. A groundbreaking new study is pointing to a surprising possibility. High salt intake may contribute to depression by altering immune responses and brain inflammation. While the research was conducted in mice, the biological processes observed offer valuable insights into how diet and mental health may be more closely connected than previously realized. The study's findings suggest that chronic high sodium intake could lead to behavioral and mood changes through its impact on immune system function, particularly via pro-inflammatory pathways. This article explores the emerging science of sodium's role in mental well-being, what the study revealed, and why it matters for humans navigating modern dietary environments. The study, linking high-salt diets to depression-like behavior. In the recent study, researchers examined the behavioral and physiological effects of a high-salt diet in mice over a period of 5 weeks. The mice were divided into 2 groups, one fed a normal diet and the other given a diet significantly higher in sodium. The researchers observed that mice consuming large amounts of salt began exhibiting behaviors that mirrored those commonly used in animal models of depression. These included reduced exploration in new environments, decreased interest in pleasurable stimuli, increased periods of immobility or apathy. Such behavioral patterns are often used to assess depression-like symptoms in rodent research and are considered a reliable measure of mood alteration due to environmental or biological stressors. What was particularly compelling about the study is that the behavioral changes were not the only findings. Researchers also documented a significant rise in the inflammatory cytokine IL-17A in the high-salt group, leading them to explore whether inflammation, not just brain chemistry, might be a driving force behind these depressive symptoms. The role of IL-17. A. Inflammation and mood. Cytokines are small proteins released by immune cells that help regulate immune responses. While necessary for defending the body against infections, chronic elevation of certain cytokines can lead to harmful inflammation. In the context of this study, the cytokine interleukin-17A, IL-17A, was significantly elevated in the high salt group. IL-17A has been implicated in autoimmune and neuroinflammatory conditions. Its presence in high concentrations, especially in areas of the brain such as the hippocampus and prefrontal cortex, is a red flag. These regions are responsible for memory processing, decision-making, and mood regulation, key domains impacted in clinical depression. By identifying interleukin-17A as a central player, the researchers discovered a new link between diet-induced immune activation and emotional states. When they inhibited the activity of IL-17A producing cells, the depressive behaviors in mice were significantly reduced, strongly suggesting that the inflammation itself was a major contributor to mood changes. Gamma delta T cells and the immune-brain connection. Further investigation revealed that a particular group of immune cells known as gamma delta T cells were the main source of IL-17A in the mice on a high-salt diet. These cells were found not only in the spleen and bloodstream but also in the central nervous system, indicating that they had crossed the blood-brain barrier, an event often associated with neuroinflammation and disease processes. By selectively depleting gamma delta T cells, researchers noted a dramatic reduction in depressive behaviors as well as a normalization of inflammatory markers. This finding emphasizes that it's not just the presence of inflammation, but the specific immune cells involved and their location in the brain that determine the impact on mood and behavior. Diet, depression, and the bigger picture. The implications of these findings reach far beyond mice. Human diets are increasingly high in sodium, often exceeding recommended limits due to the heavy use of processed and packaged foods. The average adult in many Western countries consumes between 8 to 12 grams of salt daily, far above the World Health Organization's recommended maximum of 5 to 6 grams. While human bodies are far more complex and additional factors such as genetics, stress, sleep, and lifestyle contribute to depression, this research raises new questions. Could chronic high-sodium diets be one of many contributors to rising rates of mood disorders? Is there a way to intervene through diet before medication is necessary? Other studies have already shown that dietary patterns rich in anti-inflammatory nutrients, such as those found in the Mediterranean or plant-based diets, are associated with better mental health outcomes. These diets are typically low in sodium and high in fiber, antioxidants, and omega-3 fatty acids, all of which help regulate immune responses and support brain health. This study adds another layer to that understanding, showing that the removal, or even reduction, of specific pro-inflammatory triggers like excess sodium might have tangible mental health benefits. What we still need to learn. While the findings are exciting, several important limitations must be acknowledged. The study was conducted in mice, and while animal models offer valuable insights, human physiology is more complex. The dosages and forms of salt used may not exactly replicate human dietary patterns. The psychological dimensions of human depression, such as emotional trauma, social context, and spiritual disconnection, cannot be modeled in rodents. Still, these results lay essential groundwork for future studies. Clinical trials examining salt intake and mood in humans are a logical next step and could offer clearer guidance for nutrition-based mental health interventions. Conclusion. The idea that food affects mood is not new, but this study offers powerful new evidence that salt, one of the most overlooked dietary components, could be playing a more active role in mental health than previously understood. By triggering immune cells to release inflammatory cytokines, such as IL-17A, a high-salt diet may foster conditions in the brain that contribute to depression. While this research is still in its early stages, the connection between diet, immune function, and mental well-being is becoming increasingly difficult to ignore. For individuals already seeking ways to support their mental health, reducing sodium intake may offer another simple, accessible strategy alongside physical activity, emotional support, and therapeutic care. Until more data emerges, one thing is clear. What we eat doesn't just affect our bodies, it shapes our brains, our emotions, and how we experience life itself.